So, I think this is an open declaration to the open challenge. I am here before it is even declared. Now, before I actually do initiate the open challenge, I just have one thing I need to ask Gohan. How exactly does this whole thing work? I mean, like, am I just supposed to open this or something? Is something supposed to... Huh. I forgot I had this here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Gohan6425 back with another video, and today I'm going to be doing the first ever top 10 females that I like.
On a side note, I'm pretty sure this isn't the first ever top 10 females list, but do go on.
My favorites, obviously, that I've liked through the years. I've compiled the list. Now, before we get to the criteria,
but you just were at your criteria. It's the script of the...
So, that's one of the rules. Another criteria is it doesn't matter if they have huge boobs or if they have not so much big boobs. That's not the criteria of this list.
I have a question. Why should boobs be considered a factor to keep in mind when naming off a list of favorite female characters? We all know women have boobs, big and small sets. That's like going into a male shower and basically saying, oh, careful, you might see a guy's hairy dick in there. It just seems pointless to bring up and adds nothing to this criteria. So I'm just going to skip ahead to where he actually starts getting to the list. Speaking of dicks, it's time to expand some dong.
Nami from One Piece. Good character. She's a pirate, so obviously, I mean, she stole gold before, but it was to help her village originally. Now she's part of the Luffy crew, the Straw Hats. She's really funny.
But the way he says funny, very serious. It's funny. Okay, I'll pay attention now.
And then she goes out there and, you know, just most recently on Nami, you've seen her just take out that fucking Bath Broad from CP9. Once again, underestimating her. She was underestimated, and she beat the shit out of her.
Okay, so far, all I've gotten from Nami is her backstory. She's badass, funny, and is underestimated. I can bring up the same thing on numerous other characters in fiction. So, what exactly makes Nami so special? Look, I know she's an actual thing in One Piece. She's assigned to be the navigator of the Straw Hat ship. I'm mainly saying this because Gohan doesn't like elaborating on anything. Someone being underestimated is not a very convincing point that someone is a good character to me. Hell, that's literally the entire joke about Squirrel Girl.
She's got her cool staff.
Oh, and she's got a staff for a weapon. Kick ass. Next, please.
We got Toph Beifong. Yes, Toph is awesome. Obviously, the greatest earthbender ever in the Avatar universe. She carries herself. She invented metal bending. We still don't know who her second person she hooked up with. We know she hooked up with some Kujin guy for a Lin, but we don't know his her based on the events of Legends of Korra, by the way. But we don't know for sure.
So all I'm getting from this is Toph is cool because she's badass, is good at earthbending, can carry herself, invented metal bending, and has a mysterious hookup. Do you just not like elaborating on any of these points at all, or do you think that your word is all it takes for me to actually care to listen to your opinion? Because, quite frankly, you're putting me to sleep. Also, why is having a mysterious hookup with someone something to admire? So Toph is cool because there's something we don't know about her? I don't get it.
Awesome character. She's badass. She factually can beat Gaara.
Why? Because Death Battle said so? They're the same people who allow Akuma TH on their research team. And he had a webcomic where the Raging Demon saved someone's life. Next thing you'll tell me is you believe everything game theory discusses solid fact, because You come off as that kind of plebe.
I had to bring that up because I know someone's going to mention that in the comment section.
No, you mentioned it because you're a blind sheep of screw attack.
Toph is fucking awesome. Created metal bending. Good sand bending. Master of earth bending. The only thing that upsets me is that she never learned how to lava bend. I mean, when Bolin had mentioned it, that he could lava bend, she said it was a rare ability. But being that she's the greatest earthbender of all time, how could she not have been able to pick up the ability? That's one of the questions I don't understand.
Well, gee, it's almost like lava bending is a rare trait that not many can master. It's funny because I recall you just mentioning that. Just because you're really good at something doesn't mean you perfected every area of it.
Coming in at number 8, Katara.
Let me guess, badass and awesome character?
Badass girl. She kicks ass.
You're so predictable it hurts.
Kallen Kosufki. Kallen Kosufki.
Kallen Kazuki. There's an accent above that O.
Kosufki. AKA Kallen Stadtfeld.
Stadtfeld. There's a D at the end. You're just gonna leave the D hanging? The dog does not approve.
Awesome character. Badass.
Yeah, I know he's repeating himself. People have already pointed that out, and I refuse to affiliate with repeating points.
Half Japanese.
Fuck!
She sides with the Japanese over her rich father, who's Britannian. Her mother actually becomes a maid of all things for her father, when the Japanese gets overthrown by Britannia. And he breaks up with her. And then she becomes the maid for the household. And then Kallen has to pretend that she doesn't like her anymore and shit like this. To keep this whole thing bottled up inside of her, it's really interesting, but she was so badass, especially with the Gurren Mark II.
How? How is it interesting that Kallen can keep her true feelings bottled up? Okay, the job of this list is in a hope to instill interest with these characters for your audience. So far, you made every character on this list boring. How do you make Toph boring, you plebe?
Android 18. How could I not be remiss if I didn't mention Android 18? She's a fucking phenomenal character, a beast. She beat the shit out of Vegeta.
Well, let's be real here. Who hasn't beaten the shit out of Vegeta? Aside from Krillin and Yamcha.
And I was like, when I was a kid and I first seen her and she beat the shit out of fucking Vegeta, the way she did, I was like, oh shit. Shit just got real now. Like, I'm serious. Like when I seen her fucking beating the shit out of Vegeta, it was like, so, oh my god. Like, she's really just beating on Vegeta, who's always a cocky motherfucker. And a girl beats Vegeta. And I was like, wow, that is... Yeah, I became a huge fan of Android 18 after she beat the shit out of Vegeta.
So literally the only reason Android 18 is this high on the list is because she beat the shit out of one guy. And it was the Super Saiyan punching bag. Meanwhile, characters like Nami, Toph, Katara, and even Kallen have gotten into a lot more fights to the death than just one guy who was a complete pushover. That's some nice logic you got there. And to think there's something even dumber up the road. Which we'll get to right now, because he mentions nothing interesting about CC.
She loves Pizza Hut. I mean, I love Pizza Hut. She likes pizza. I know, it wasn't Pizza Hut in the English version, but in the Japan version, it was. They actually had Pizza Hut on the.
Okay, I lied. He talks about Pizza Hut in this segment. I think I know who the real number 3 best female anime character is. Ooh, stuffed crusts. How I love the way you spread your cheese. Come and get some, you saucy little beast, you. I'm going deep dish for this one.